Look, we all know that cybersecurity isn't optional anymore. It's just a basic cost of doing business. But the one question I hear over and over is, what's it actually going to cost me? So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real price of protection and figure out what you should really expect to pay to keep your digital house secure. Let's jump in. To really get why this is so critical, you have to start with this number. Just let it sink in for a second. $10.8 trillion. That's the projected annual cost of cybercrime by 2026. I mean, it's a number so outrageously big, it's hard to even wrap your head around, right? And it's exactly why this whole conversation is so urgent. With threats that massive knocking at the door, prevention is literally everything. So that's the big question, isn't it? What does it actually cost to lock the doors before the bad guys show up? Okay, so before we can even talk about dollars and cents, we need to know what we're buying. And in cybersecurity, the essential health check for your systems, the thing we're talking about today, is called VAPT. So what is VAPT? It stands for Vulnerability Assessment and Penetration Testing. You can think of it as a 1-2 punch, a two-stage security audit designed to first find the weaknesses in your digital fortress and then to actively test them. And I love this slide because it breaks it down so simply. The vulnerability assessment, or VA, is like scouting the area. It finds all the open doors and cracked windows, usually with automated tools that scan for known problems. But then comes the penetration test, or PT. That's where an ethical hacker actually tries to walk through those doors. They use creativity and skill to see if a real attacker could get in. So one finds the potential problem, the other proves the real-world risk. And you've basically got 3 flavors this comes in. You can go with automated testing, which is super fast and easy on the budget, great for a quick checkup. Then you've got manual testing, done by actual human experts. It's slower, yeah, and it costs more, but it finds those clever, complex issues that software just can't see. And then there's the hybrid approach, which, as you might guess, mixes both to give you the best of both worlds. So here's the most important thing to get. There is no single price tag for VAPT. It's not like buying a product off a shelf. The final cost really comes down to a handful of key factors that are unique to every single project. And these right here, these are the dials that turn the price up or down. Think about the scope. Are we testing one tiny app or your entire global network? What about the depth? Is this a quick surface scan or a full-on deep dive? Are we going automated or bringing in the big guns with manual testing? Each one of these things, from compliance rules like HIPAA to how often you test, totally shapes that final number. All right, now that we get the variables, let's get to the good stuff, the part you've been waiting for. The actual numbers. How does this all translate into a real-world price? This table gives us a really solid snapshot. And the key thing to notice is just how much the price scales with your needs. So let's take a mid-sized company, for example. A basic automated scan, that might run you a few $1,000s. But if you need a deep manual test on your most critical systems, that cost can easily double or more. And this is exactly why that hybrid model is so popular. It hits that sweet spot in the middle. Okay, those ranges are great for budgeting for sure, but they don't tell the whole story. You also have to understand the different ways a security partner might actually structure their invoice. You're generally going to run into 3 common models. Some vendors charge by the hour, which is perfect for smaller, more flexible jobs. Others charge per asset, so you pay a set fee for each server or app they test. And a lot of them will give you a fixed price for the whole project, which is awesome when you have a clear scope and a firm budget. Now, when you see all those numbers, it's so tempting to just say, okay, let's find the cheapest one. But this is where we need to take a step back and completely reframe how we think about this. This isn't an expense, it's an investment. This quote just nails it. It's like taking care of your car. An oil change costs you a little bit of money now, right? But if you skip it, you could be looking at a catastrophic engine failure down the road, a bill that is way, way bigger. It is the exact same logic with cybersecurity. A small, controlled cost today prevents an out-of-control disaster tomorrow. Because honestly, the cost of a good security test is pocket change compared to the cost of a real data breach. A breach isn't just a tech problem, it's a financial nightmare of legal fees, massive regulatory fines. And then there's the cost of trying to win back something you might lose forever, your customers' trust. And all of this brings us to our final and probably most important point. When you're picking someone to do this work, the lowest price is almost never the best choice. The real value isn't in the price tag, it's in the skill of the person doing the testing. So, how do you find a good partner? You've got to look deeper. Check their certifications for sure. Ask them about their experience working in your industry. Read reviews from past clients. And here's a pro tip. Always ask to see a sample report. A great partner doesn't just give you a giant list of problems, they give you a clear, actionable roadmap to fix them. At the end of the day, true security comes from expertise, not from the lowest bid. So, I'll just leave you with this final question to think about. Is your security plan really an expense, or is the lack of one the real cost you simply can't afford to pay? Thanks for tuning in.